Hello again everyone, welcome to part 2 of our CiteMaker tutorial series. In this tutorial we're going to learn how to create a reference list. So you've just logged in to CiteMaker. What you will notice first of all is that this pop-up appears on the screen. The first thing you have to do is you have to create a folder of the subject that you're doing the assignment for and a name for the reference list for the task that you're researching. So in our example, the subject that I'm have an assignment for is health and PE, and the assignment that I'm researching is women in sport. So I've created a reference list here for that. Now, as I create references, they'll save to that list. As it's setting that up, what I want you to notice is that there is an option to automatically generate citations. My advice is not to use that. It's riddled with errors, and so it's better to come down and to manually create citations. So I'm going to do 2 examples for this reference list. I'm going to imagine that we're referencing a book, and then I'm going to imagine that we're referencing a website. So within books, there's a number of options. I'm going to reference the entire book, and then you'll get a set of fields. Where there is grade writing, that is something that they really want you or suggest is an important part of the reference. So that's information you should try to find. Now let's imagine that I wrote a book about Australian women in sport. So we put the author's surname and then first initial. I've just entered it in here, and you can notice that it starts to create my reference with the correct punctuation, which is really important to referencing. And because the tool knows all the rules, you don't have to worry so much about the rules. Okay, I'm going to finish filling in these fields. Let's pretend that the book was published in 2018. The book title is Australian Women in Sport. Now with APA referencing, for the titles of books, the only capital letters you have to have is the very first letter of the title and any proper nouns. Now Australian is both a proper noun and the first word in the title, so it definitely gets a capital A. Well, imagine that the publisher is Mount Alvernia Books. And there was no original work, so we won't fill in that section. The last thing we need to do then is we need to go down to this little button here, Save My Sites. So we're going to click that. It's going to go, do I want it in the Health and PE subject folder? And is it called Women in Sport? Yes, it is. Once that is saved, it should appear now in my Women in Sport reference list. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to imagine that I want to reference this website. This website is created by the Australian government and it's called Women Leaders in Sport. So back here in CiteMaker, I'm going to close the book section and I'm going to come down to internet source. Okay, and the internet source that I want to reference is a web page or website. Okay, so this time the author is not an individual person, it's an organization. And the tool, the CiteMaker tool, is worried that I'm putting more than an initial, and it says, is the author a person? I'm going to let it know that no, it's not, it's an organization. So Australian government, okay, I've spelt that wrong, government. The year that this website was created, I'm going to scoot down here and see if there's a copyright date. There is right down the bottom, which you just can't see on this screen, and that is 2021. The page title again is Women Leaders in Sport. So we're going to put that in. Again, you don't need capital letters if there's not proper nouns, only the first word in the title needs a capital. So Women Leaders in Sport. Okay, the site name is Sport Oz. Okay, and the URL, the web identifier, is this address up here. So we're going to copy that and we're going to paste it here. Okay, and here's my citation. So we're going to right down the bottom, I'll just move this screen so that you can see that button. We're going to save my site. Okay, in the Health and PE folder and in the Women in Sport. Okay, that will appear over here as well. And then I would keep going. I would keep creating my references for my reference list. Let's imagine that that's it. Now I only have 2 references. You, of course, will have more than that when you're researching. What I want to do is export this so that I can copy and paste it into my assignment. So when I press export, I use Microsoft Word. So I check Microsoft Word. Oh, it says it's reminding me that I haven't said which references I want to export. Well, I want to check them all. I want to export them all. So then I have to leave the site for it to download into Microsoft Word. Here's the file. And then I can save this Word document in the folder that I've set up on my laptop for my assignment, or I can copy paste this into the last page of my assignment. You can see that it's alphabetized the list for me, it's given it the name, references, and it's set it out perfectly. Okay, I hope that's useful. Happy referencing.